Hello and welcome to Kelly Legends Media. All right, so I want to do a real quick video on nicknames, barrio nicknames, right? And how certain nicknames are given. Yeah, and then I want to tell you about this one homie's, his nickname was Mago, okay? But I'm going to tell Magoo's story towards the end. Let's start off with the obvious, okay? Some homies, they get their nicknames by their features, right? Like my homeboy Smiley and my homegirl Smiley, they got a smile that's just, it's constant. Even if they're just reading or you're talking to them serious, it's like a smile that's just always on their face. You know, it's like, let's see if I could do it. I can't. They're like, just always smile. It's just there, but bigger, big ass smile. So you know right away when you're talking to them why they call him Smiley, right? A homeboy Raton, he does look like a rat, you know. Thin, his face came out a little bit, and he had these two teeth that were a little bit bigger than they should be, you know, and he looked pretty much like a little ratoncito, right? They called him Raton, right? We have other homeboys that we nickname not by their features, but because of their names. Like Richard would be Kiki, right? Sergio would be Checo. So, like, with the Mexican community or the Chicano community, there's different names used for people depending on what their name is, you know. The two examples I just gave, right? There's a bunch of them. Pancho, sometimes like Cisco for Francisco, sometimes. So that's another way that you could get your nickname. Then some people get their nickname from older brothers, their fathers, whoever, right? Like myself, my nickname's after my dad, Lucky from Primera Flats. Okay, so you know, I got his name Lucky. So there's a lot of homeboys that have either their older brother, they become like Psycho's little brothers, little Psycho. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Another way you might get your name in the barrio, right? And sometimes you might even get names that don't fit you anymore. You know, like my homeboy Panzon, he is not fat. My homeboy Fatso is not fat. He's thin. But when he was a little kid, he was gordito. And his family gave him the nickname Panzon. Hey, ven Panzon. Hey, get in the car, Panzon. You know, and Panzon became his nickname growing up. And even though he got thin and, you know, teenagers stretch at a certain age, that name Panzon stuck with him even till today. He's a very thin man, but they still call him Fatso. That's his nickname, you know. So sometimes you get it by your you know, your body. If you got a limp, they might call you Limpy. You know, if you lost your left arm, they might call you Lefty. Okay. So sometimes it's for physical characteristics, not just the way your face may look or okay, so that's another way you get nicknames. Okay, so now to my homeboy Mago. Mago's an older homie from Maravilla. I'm not sure if he's still with us. He would probably be in his I would figure maybe mid to late 70s, early 80s by now. Well, this is a story that Mago told me, because I was wondering why would they call him Mago. Mago's a cartoon character. He's a little old man, a little old bald man with a stick, and he's blind. Okay, and you could catch Magoo driving his car, and being that he can't see, he would drive on the wrong side of the street. He would drive on the sidewalk. He would drive on parking malls, and somehow he'd sometimes drive on the wires of the telephone poles, or sometimes even walk up there with his stick. He'd pull up and he'd start talking to a dog, thinking it's a lady. Oh, hello, ma'am. How's your day today? Well, have a good day. It was nice talking to you, ma'am. And he'd take off, but it'd be a dog sitting there in front of him looking all confused, right? So that was Mr. Magoo, the cartoon character. So Magoo, the homie, tells me this story. He says, so I tell him, hey, Magoo, hey, how'd you get that name? Magoo, you're not bald, you're not blind. And he kind of chuckled a little bit, and then he tells me the story. He says, well, so one day we're going to the connections pad, right? But the connections pad is hot. So they drive around the block a couple of times. They make sure, nobody's parked in any place around the corners. They're looking to see if they're watching the house from somewhere. This pad's hot, it's burnt already. So they decide it's the right time to go ahead and go knock on the door and do their business, right? So Magoo gets off the car, and the homie says, all right, homie, I'm going to go around the block a few times, and then I'm going to park it right here. He goes, oh, all right. So the homie takes off, and he goes slow, and he's giving Magoo time to go in and get what he has to get and do his transaction and stuff, right? So he's cruising around the block, right? He goes around the block one time, and Magoo's still not out, right? So goes to take another lap. Excuse me. So Magoo comes out of the house, and he's got the paquete, right? He's ready to go. So he's walking down the street, and he's being trucha. He's looking up and down the street, looking for juras, right? And he's looking around, and he goes up to the car. The car's parked. He goes up to the car, and he opens the back door, and he jumps in, and he's looking back. And come on, homie, let's go. Come on, let's get out of here. And he looks to the front, and he's sitting in the back of a undercover, a detective car, right? He's sitting in the back seat, and the two detectives are sitting in the front looking back at him like, what the fuck just happened here, Magoo walked out and was so busy looking for the juras that he got into the car that belonged to the detectives and jumped in the back seat, right? So he realizes, and he goes to open the door, and anybody who's been in the back of a cop car or a detective car, the back doors don't open from the outside, from the inside, right? So there he is trying to open the door, right? And the juras are laughing, and yeah. So of course they get him, they gaffle him up, they take him to jail, right? And thus came his name, Magoo, right? Mr. Magoo, for the mistake he made in doing that. Like you got to be blind, to walk right up to a car that's has two juras sitting in it, and jump in the back seat, with a dope sack, But anyways, I just thought it'd be kind of interesting just to talk a little bit about how different people get their nicknames and stuff. Some people get them from their families, early in life. Mexican families like to put nicknames on their kids, Like my little brother, everybody called him the dude, right? He used to dress up like adults. He'd wear the beige jacket with the dark brown fur collar, the big jackets, fingertip coats, Yeah, with his hair combed back, Anyways, they call him the dude. Well, even today, he's, when I call him, I'm like, hey, dude, what's going on, man? Like, all right, dude. Hey, man, I love you. You know that, right, bro? You know, we call him dude, you know. Uh, my sister used to call him Balunji. I don't know what that means. But she's no longer with us. But yeah, that was her nickname for him was Balunji. But just, Spanish people, Hispanic people give the kids nicknames sometimes. Anyways, I just thought it'd be fun to share this little bit of insight, this little bit of history on how homies get their names and stuff. Not only them, but also family members, when they're young. Even if they never get into a neighborhood, a lot of them have nicknames that just stay with them, that come from their families. Anyways, yeah, if you have an interesting nickname or a story behind your what they call you or called you, let me know in the comment section. Now that I mentioned the comment section, I have a lot of things going on. I may not respond to all the comments. I try to, and my intentions are to, and some of them are more than worthy of response, but I do read them all. And when I read them, I usually push the like button if I like them. If I don't, I put a thumbs down. So if you get a thumbs down, it's probably from me, But as you know, most of the time they're all thumbs up. Unless you come over to the channel and you just want to talk crazy, or say things that are impertinent to what the discussion is in the comment section. But I do read your comments, most definitely. I make sure that I read them. I comment on some of them that I can. But my intention is always to go back and give time for that and get it done. And especially right now, I'm really behind because just the way I've been feeling, and I've been taking a lot of time for myself, But I'll get back on it. I'll do better. But anyways, if you have a good story on a nickname that was given to you, or that you carried around for a while, or was given by your family, or that you've given somebody and it stuck, share it in the comment section. I like to hear about it. Thank you for watching. God bless you. God bless your family. Don't forget, people, man, stay free. Let's make good decisions and do the right things. Do what we have to do and what we can to be out here for our family and our loved ones. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you on the next video.